Hey, it's Ian from Las Vegas Scooters and Lifts. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart one of the drive or golden transaxles. You. Okay, yeah, so this is first for me how to take apart one of these. Obviously I have done it. I've never done one of these in the past, so this is the first for me. And this is from the LX that I'm currently doing, but I thought I'd split the video into two, so people looking to try and repair in one of these transaxles like I did with the Pride transaxles. I thought it may be interesting to do it as a separate video as opposed to having one super long video regarding this. So this had a broken transaxle. I wanted to see if I could repair it, see if there is a way of repairing it. And so this is this video. So this is the footage from this scooter and me taking apart the transaxle for the first time. So hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it a bit informative. Sorry if my little thing's in the way, but yeah. So let's go on with the video. Hope it helps you out. So, crunchy back end, what do you do? Most dealers will probably tell you to, will tell you to replace the whole transaxle motor and brake. They don't normally sell just the transaxles, it's a whole unit, and it usually outweighs the cost of the scooter. You might as well buy a new scooter. Okay, these transaxles, these type of transaxles that Drive and Golden use, I've never ever took one apart. The only thing you can take off is this top plate. This top plate here has 4 screws or 4 bolts in it that you can look inside of the actual mechanism, but as for everything else apart from the motor comes off and the brake of course, there's no way of separating it like the Prides where this actually comes apart in 2 sections. So the only thing that comes off is this top piece. So I can take that off, have an inspect and see what's inside of it, and go from there, see if I can see any damaged parts, but you never know. Okay, so that's the right size. I'm thinking you probably won't be able to do anything with repair versus replace. I have got some of these transaxles. I've actually got a brand new one, but I don't think it's this size. I think it's from the smaller buzz around or drive. They are interchangeable, but I think you have to change these out, a different connection type on the drive and the golden, but they both share the same pretty weak transaxles. I think they're pretty small for the scooters, to be honest. Whereas if you get a Pride scooter, if you go up into a heavier weight scooter, the transaxles and motors are a lot bigger compared to the smaller travel type like your Ultra X, which I've probably explained before, but you know, your Traveller, Ultra X, LX, and all those. They've discontinued the Traveller Plus, which shared the same transaxle as the Sport, exactly the same. That's why it was a great scooter. A little bit cheaper than the Sport, a little bit smaller, but a little bit bigger than the Traveller. So somebody of my weight, you know, 225, 230, 250, it was an ideal scooter for a taller, bigger person. But they discontinued it. So all you've got now is either a Traveller, Elite Traveller, which is still a great scooter, but it's on the smaller, narrow side, or the Sport. So they're your two choices in transportable scooters. So there's your cover, as you can see, and then your little gasket. Try not to break that because they don't sell those parts. Okay, so I think it's this end, this motor end. There is actually a, I don't really want to take it apart, but on this little collar here there is a retaining thing which has a thing on it, a bolt, but I don't know if that will come out. I can see a lot of gear wear there on this main drive gear. You can see it. Let's see if I can clean a little bit off for you, because that's where it's slipping. You can see the wear on there, on the edge. So that's where it's slipping. That's where it's worn down. So there, it's definitely the transaxle that's blown. So no repairing that unless you've got parts and you can physically strip it down, which I don't think you'll be able to. Maybe, I'm wondering if you undo this and this separates, as in pull these actual shafts out. The rest of it seems alright, but just that main gear just slipping. Yeah, that's fine. A lot of play in there, a hell of a lot of play. So, let's see if I can undo that. I'm not sure what size that is. It's a bit smaller. So this is the first for me. I've never bothered with these because they're pretty weak transaxles in the start. There we go. Let's see if this breaks it apart. They put it in this way, so they've got to take it out that way. That's the way I see things. They put it together, they've got to take it apart, or they put it, got to be able to take it apart. So. It's weird, it's like a little clamp that just spins. The last thing you want to do is drop a screw in there. I think there's a little spring washer there as well. Yeah. Don't lose that, keep those together. So that's your first bit. Now this looks like it's on a hinge, this actual bracket. Looks like it's hinged. I may be wrong, no, it is hinged. So I'm thinking you break that apart. Oh, come on, get out. Alright, I'm going to get a pair of needle nose pliers, see if that helps me. Well, this is a learning curve for both us and me. Like I say, I've never done one of these before. Never had the inclination because the scooters are usually cheap enough to buy, but not for some people. Come on, I've only got me tiny ones. Yeah, they're just out there now. Let's try the bigger ones. Get a better purchase on it. There we go. Yeah, so it springs apart like that. It's on a hinge sort of thing. And I can see washers like the Pride. Yeah, there's a little washer there. washer there, that spaces out that. See, there's no way of checking that out because there's going to be a locating pin that's holding this gear in place, and vice versa on that side. So I don't know what that's just a spacer, I'm guessing. Yeah. There's no way of separating that because of that pin. Similar to the Pride. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Excuse me. Alright. So just the same as the Prides, the Go-Go transaxles, you have that slot with that pin in it, and that's up against that. And of course it won't go that way because the pin's stopping it. It can only go that way to release it. So not sure. So once you've released that, it releases that, so this shaft can move out. So then that gives you access. Don't drop the pin. See what I'm showing you? See, now it's pulled that. See that pin? So the pin's the next thing to take out. So again with the little, I've got to be careful because it's sliding all over the place. Maybe a magnet, because I can't get those in. So, oh. Okay, so with a magnet you can pull it out. There's your little cotter pin that's, or whatever pin, locating pin, that keeps that in place. And then it's not going to go any further. I don't know why. There must be something this end that's stopping it. A bit at a time, slow and steady. This fun. I'm going to have to release that. I think that's the next port of call. Stick it on its side. Take that to... where's that gone? I guess I did my last video. Keep track of your tools, otherwise you lose them, and I've gone and lost one. bit. Get rid of the stuff I don't need. Alright, so wheel off. And Key West in there. Next thing. Pick up. I'll remove this. This is a 13 again. Oh, 14. I'll keep everything together. I'd love to know where my socket went. Wheel one. Okay, there you go. So the next thing I'm doing, I took the wheel off, you can see. I'm gonna take this locating washer, the spring washer, whatever you want to call it. That should come off. So hopefully that should release it. That's why I don't like doing transaxles. Need a bit of leverage, or leverage, whichever you want to say it. Just so I've got something to pull on. And hopefully this shaft should come out. There it goes. So that's how you relieve it. Oh, yeah. But don't forget you've got your washers in there, which have now fallen in there. Oop. Oh, get straight. So now get back in the time. So that's your first gear out. So there's two washers on there, and this side has a ridge. So then that, and then you clamp the bottle. Okay, so that's that bit done. I think the next thing to do is take this side off, which will then release that. And then we can see what is grinding. And it's the same process. Put that to one side, shaft. Alright, a little bit of an interlude there.
going to remove this wheel. Sorry if that's loud. Alright, let's take that wheel off. Okay, so that's that bit out. I'm making a right mess. I'll pull that back in there so I don't lose it for now. So I'm wondering if that worm gear can get cleaned up. I'll show you where I can see this side's not coming out. I will once I release that. Okay, so that's how they put it together. Alright, I'll do a quick tour. I mean, I can turn this round so it's facing the other way, but I think it may be that worm gear down there. Down in there that drives from the motor to that worm gear that then drives this, and I think it's stripped. Yeah, it's broken, that's why. Yeah, that worm gear is broken. So you would be looking at a new motor and transaxle and brake. So it is broken away from the shaft of the drive that drives that wheel, so you need to replace this and that. So if you're having those symptoms, that's what your problem is. So the next thing to take off is going to be the motor. So I'll put that to one side, move that up there. That's too small, I know that. So once we remove the motor, we can then see if we can change out that worm gear. Probably not, but you never know. Just undoing the 4 bolts that hold the motor on. This would be the time for a sensible person to mark where the motor orientation is. I'll just put a black line across there on both the transaxle and the motor, so I know which side to orientate the motor when I put it back together, if I put it back together. As far as I know, there isn't a gasket in these, in the motor side. I can't get in to do that. Just get a small Allen wrench. I should have used my snake already. quite sure. Did like 1/8 turn. I could have done it if I had got the snake out. Who says men they want ambidextrous? Can do two things at once. Okay, that's that one out. There's two more to do. This looks like it has a larger motor than the usual buzz arounds, with this being a bigger scooter. Looks longer than the buzz around motors. I'm hoping I can harvest the drive worm gear that drives that. Okay, that's on for it. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, so now the motor's out. I'll put the wheel back on so I can work on it. Try and get the wheel on. Come on. There you got your nylon drive, and your drive key, very similar to the Pride, so that is held on with a spring. Watch out. Which is a bearing. Come on, what the heck? Okay, that's the spring washer out. So, what I'm thinking now is something to do with this end, because that is not moving. I'm thinking there's a bearing in there. I need a flashlight. I don't think it's going to punch out that way. I think it comes out this way, or there's something holding it in this end. There's like two little notches there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, microphone's going to back up again in a minute. So it looks like this rubber gasket should come out. Right, I'll have to pause for lunch and I'll come back to it. Okay, so that's done. Now, what I have had to do that's the piece that's broken. That's the new one I tried to put in. That was already broken on the axle I got down there on that stand. So I've got another one. The way I got this out, you have to bang on that. I used a socket extension just on there and weld it through. Make sure you take that split ring off, and that pulls it through. If you could ever find one of these. So I tried a Pride one, they're too small, the bearings are two different sizes, so that's no good. As you bang in that, you will dent it, you will put a dent in it, so you just bang it straight and then it should be okay. It may leak a little bit, but yeah, I've got grease absolutely everywhere, all over my face. I'll just wash that off, but all over my tools and everything. If you want to do it, go ahead, be my guest, but it's an absolute pain in the ass. This one, the axles were actually bigger and they have a threaded, and these have an internal thread, so I had to swap the axles out, so I had to strip that down as well to put the axles in this gearbox. So yeah, that's how you would do it if you got anything wrong with it. That's how they come apart. So not the best job. It's like Pride, you can't get the parts for it. Don't try doing it. It's yeah, unless it's like a simple thing like a bearing, then you may be able to get away with it, but anything like that to drive worm gear, you not get a replacement for that unless you've got another axle that's you can use it out of, like I have. But yeah, this is the other one I had. That one was broken, and this is the original one, so yeah, I managed to bang it out, but that one's all worn. That's just garbage now. I've got probably use that maybe for something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna clean it all up, clean this frame up, put it in the frame, and then test drive it and see what happens. It's a little bit tight, that transaxle, so we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Okay, day 2. So I've cleaned the transaxle up, and that's a lot better. So putting this back together. Do yourself a favour, steady it on the wheel. In fact, I'll pull the motor. I do know that's got to go back through there. So first of all, I'm going to put the motor on. So we get that right. I hope I haven't wiped off those marks. I'll pull on there. Probably. So that wants to be facing upwards. Facing there. I'm not going to say it's a gas, but oh, nearly forgot. I'll be going nowhere. Don't forget you drive. Okay, center that. Take the brake off. Oh, there it is. Going the wrong way. Okay, so let's okay, got it all back together. It's all clean and put back together, so let's try it. Oh, I'll have the brake off. Alright. Power on. Let's see if it makes a noise. That sounds good to me.
There's a little bump in the tyre, like a little flat spot. Let's see if we can see it. I think it's on this side. No, maybe at the front. I definitely feel it. Quick, so about 5 miles an hour. But I would say that's a success. But I've had to change the transaxle out completely. So, back in the shop. That's just the boxes. Yeah. So, seat's crumbling away. But, yeah, hopefully that flat spot will clear itself up when it heats up. It's not that bad. It's not too noticeable. Yeah, there's no noise. It sounds good. Like I said, a little bit of a flat spot on there, but I'm not worried about that. I have got another golden chair down there, so I'm definitely replacing the armrest. Definitely this one. Change the armrest pads because they're the same as Pride. Exactly the same. Tiller's in good condition. Let's check the light works. No. So I'll look into why the light isn't working. And the horn. It sounds a bit... There it goes. I think it's just a bit dusty. Yeah, neither the front or rear lights work, so yeah, it's a switch, but by the look of it, the back works. In the front, yeah, it's just the switch is a bit crusty. A couple of on-offs should do it. Yeah, there you go. Just left out in dusty weather, it gets in all the electronics. Speed dial works. That wasn't even full speed, holy moly. What have I built? So, anyway, so back end's good. I'll get the parts ordered. I'll get some more armrest pads put on it. Look, see if I've got one of those floorboards actually. See if I've got one of those in the back. If not, I'll order one and get it cleaned up. Hopefully, we'll get the rear panels for this that comes with the back shroud. So, and then hopefully, I'm not sure if I'll get these sprayed up, but nah, it's not worth it spending money on that. Just get it cleaned up and then put it for sale. Put it next to the Revo is a good comparison between the two. So let's get some parts ordered and get it finished cleaned up and see how we get on.